Power doesn't ask for permission, it takes. When Jin-Woo first entered the hunter world, he was the weakest of them all, a laughingstock, but now, entire dimensions tremble at the sound of his name. This isn't the story of a hero. This is the story of a king. Previously on Solo Leveling, we saw Jin-Woo single-handedly clear an entire S-rank dungeon, leaving the world's strongest hunters absolutely speechless. Hunter baked that level of power. It's impossible. No human should be able to wield that kind of power. But as the dungeon fell, something far, far worse awakened. The monarchs, the true rulers of destruction, finally set their eyes on Earth, and their first target is the new king who dares to challenge their reign. After the absolute massacre Jin-Woo just unleashed, there are no cheers of victory. Only a stunned, heavy silence. A wounded hunter struggles to his feet, barely believing he's alive. He asks, We survived. But another hunter corrects him, looking over at the lone figure of Jin-Woo. No, he says, he survived. We just watched. As Jin-Woo walks forward, his Shadow Legion trailing behind him, one of the hunters gathers the courage to speak. He points out that Jin-Woo didn't hesitate for a second, not even when the monsters were practically begging for their lives. Jin-Woo's reply is ice cold. Hesitation gets people killed. The hunter pushes back, saying the monsters were showing fear. Jin-Woo just turns his head slightly, his voice cutting through the silence. So were humans, when monsters invaded. And in that one moment, every hunter on that field understood something terrifying. Jin-Woo wasn't being cruel, he was being absolute. There was no room for mercy in this new world he was carving out. Just then, a dark energy explodes from the fallen monsters. The hunters are shocked as the bodies dissolve into pure darkness, reforming into something new. Beru steps forward, his aura heavier and more menacing than ever before. He kneels before Jin-Woo, declaring, My king, your power calls to us. The other shadow generals agree. They can feel a higher command, a new level of existence. Jin-Woo looks over his evolving army and explains it simply. You re-evolving because the enemies are stronger. That's all the confirmation Beru needs. Then give us the order, he says, his voice filled with devotion. Jin-Woo slowly raises his hand, his command echoing with finality. Protect humanity. Destroy everything else. A unified roar shakes the very foundation of the dungeon as the entire Shadow Army answers in unison. An army that could swallow entire nations now stands ready, under one singular, absolute command. But while Jin-Woo's forces grow, his true enemies are finally making their move. We cut to the Monarch's War Council, a horrifying realm of dark thrones and monstrous silhouettes. The Beast Monarch is mocking the situation, calling Jin-Woo a human playing king. But the Frost Monarch, ever the serious one, immediately shuts him down. Mock him again, he warns, and you'll die first. The Plague Monarch adds that Jin-Woo's shadow army is already starting to rival their own. Then, a deep ancient voice echoes through the chamber, a voice we haven't heard before. It declares that Jin-Woo is not just a human anymore. This enrages the Beast Monarch, who bellows that they should just crush him, but the Frost Monarch has a warning. Careful, he says, this Shadow Monarch doesn't fear death. For the first time, the monarchs are in disagreement, and in their world, disagreement means only one thing: war is inevitable. Back on Earth, we find Jin-Woo standing on a rooftop, overlooking the city lights. A senior hunter approaches, telling him what he already knows. The world governments are panicking. They're calling him a threat. Jin-Woo just gives a faint smile and says, Good. The hunter is shocked. How can that be good? Jin-Woo's logic is simple and brutal. Fear keeps them alive. The hunter argues that if the monarchs invade, millions will die. Jin-Woo finally turns to face him, his expression firm. Then I'll stand in front of them, alone, the hunter asks, his voice filled with doubt. Jin-Woo glances at the shadows swirling behind him. I'm never alone. He has accepted his role not as a hunter, but as the soul shield for humanity. And then, it happens. The sky itself seems to break open. A gate of unprecedented size tears a hole in reality, and alarms blare across the globe. A hunter's desperate voice screams over the comms that the gate is completely off the scale. From within the gate, a monstrous voice echoes, demanding the Shadow Monarch bow before the true rulers. Jin-Woo steps forward to meet the challenge head-on. You entered my world, without permission. The enemy general just laughs, boasting that they will wipe out humanity. At that, Jin-Woo's eyes begin to glow with that terrifying purple light. Over my dead body, he states. He raises his hand, and with a single word, he unleashes hell. Arise. Endless shadows pour from his own, an infinite army rising to meet the invaders. The enemy general is furious, screaming not to be underestimated. Jin-Woo's response is chillingly calm. You can try, The auras of kings collide, darkness versus darkness. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The war between the monarchs has officially begun, and Jin-Woo stands at the epicenter. The final shot is of Jin-Woo declaring that his power will never stop growing, as the enemy roars, vowing to kill him even if he becomes a legend. What an incredible setup for the next episode. The stakes have never been higher, and Jin-Woo is no longer just fighting for survival, he's fighting a war on a cosmic scale. What did you all think of this episode? The evolution of the Shadow Army was insane, and that final confrontation gave me chills. Let me know your favorite part in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more solo leveling content. Thanks for watching.